Almost every one of us wants to become richer, but for some reason, not everyone gets it. Many books have been written on this subject, countless courses have been conducted, and many different schools have been organized. It is easy for an inexperienced person to drown in all this diverse information and never get to the main point, real actions that will help him achieve success. And they are often outraged. Why is everything given to one and nothing to us? Why is fate so unfair to us? First of all, let's figure out who is rich and who is poor. Although we often use these words, there is no clear definition. Some are judged by monetary amounts, the second by investments, the third by real estate, the fourth by capital turnover, and so on and so forth. But then comes the crisis, the stock market crash, reform and other changes. The rich are losing their capital, stocks are depreciating, real estate is falling in value, rich people become poor. There are many such stories. What is wealth? Who can be called rich and who is poor? Let's figure it out. Most people estimate wealth by the amount of money in the bank or in the safe. The larger the amount, the richer the owner. But this is a mistake, because money is not worth anything. Money is a medium of exchange for goods and services in a strictly limited economic zone. The value of money varies, usually downward. In addition to a smooth decline, which is called inflation, the price of money can fall sharply. Money is easily and simply withdrawn from the population in many ways: financial reform, destruction of deposits, freezing of accounts, and similar actions. Money can only be used in the area that drew it. For purchases in another zone, you need to exchange money at the exchange rate set by the regulator. The exchange may be restricted or closed altogether. Thus, the amount of money in the bank is not a classifier of wealth. The amount in the bank does not matter at all, $100 or 100 million. Equally nothing. Cryptocurrencies on blockchain systems, electronic money and the like are as ephemeral as ordinary symbolic money of states. The value of cryptocurrency varies greatly in a short period of time. Cryptocurrencies do not have a tangible embodiment and can be regulated or withdrawn even more easily than ordinary money. Cryptocurrency and electronic money cannot be wealth in any way. These are the numbers on the screen: securities, various stocks, bonds, coupons, etc., issued by private companies and governments. They cannot be rich in principle. It's a duty. All large companies issuing shares are insolvent debtors who will never repay their debt. The purchase of shares is the transfer of money to the debtor. Periodically, large companies go bankrupt when their debt becomes very large. Securities are even less reliable than money. The more securities there are, the more debts there are. Gold and silver have long been used as money, although no one can explain why. The stock of precious metals could be assessed as wealth. However, you can't even buy food for gold and silver. First, precious metals must be exchanged for local currency. The price of selling gold to citizens and buying gold from citizens is very different. It turns out that investments in gold are unprofitable. The price of precious metals is established by order of the states and large financial institutions. Gold cannot just be exported to another economic zone. Each state has its own rules and restrictions, although it can be considered that whoever has more gold is richer, but with limitations. There are already a lot of them, and in various crises there are even more. If money, cryptocurrencies, and stocks are dummies that cost nothing, then wealth will be something tangible and expensive. The most familiar thing is real estate: apartments, houses, plots, garages, commercial, office, factory, and warehouse areas. People live and people work indoors, which are always in demand, and which are constantly getting more expensive. The more real estate you buy, the richer. No. Firstly, you need to pay for real estate, tax, maintenance, insurance. Country houses require constant investment of time, effort and money. Secondly, in order to receive money, the property must be sold. Find a buyer and negotiate a price. However, the value of real estate, as it turned out, can not only grow, sometimes she falls. Today, many investors who invested in real estate are trapped. Most real estate purchases are made with credit money. Sit down, investors, crow. Your money is poured into the concrete meters, and it has become difficult to take it out. Again, it turns out that the amount of real estate does not determine wealth. Then that leaves the business, which provides income. For example, there may be a property bought for rent, trade, services, production. These are active sources of income. People use, people buy, people rent, they pay money. According to economics, business of various kinds is the best way to invest money and a sign of wealth. However, the slightest changes can ruin a business and leave the owner in debt. A large chain supermarket has opened nearby, where prices are lower and there is more choice. The flow of customers to your store will drop sharply. Any change in laws and regulations affects business. Even after a few steps along the chain, markets, sales, stocks, prices, flows, nothing is stable. Today it was good and profitable, but tomorrow the source of income will become a loss. It turns out that there are no rich people in the world. The sustainably rich, for whom no shocks, crises, changes in markets and laws are terrible. Today a rich man, tomorrow a poor man. There are many stories of ruined millionaires. There are even more stories of businessmen who have flown by. Is wealth really so unstable and similar to a casino or lucky, unlucky? Yes, that's right. I was lucky today. I managed to jump on a wave. But tomorrow the wave fell and turned into a rotten puddle. I figured out to jump off earlier. I was lucky, or I calculated. But mistakes are inevitable. You'll make a mistake next time. A real roulette. And who always wins at the casino? Owner. That is, the owner of the global economic system and the owners of the economic zone, which is called the state. At one time, Kolomoisky was called the main businessman of Ukraine. Kolomoisky owned Private Bank, an analog of the Russian Sberbank, and many more things. Almost the whole country brought money to Kolomoisky, but then everything was taken away from the supposedly all-powerful oligarch who allegedly owned Ukraine, and he was imprisoned. Kolomoisky played well in the casino. I was winning. Until then, when the owner of the roulette decided that enough was enough, the powerful and rich oligarch lost everything. Thus, the rich today are not the people who lead the lists of millionaires, own many properties and large businesses. They sail yachts and spend your annual salary for one trip to a restaurant. These are not rich people. They are just as poor as everyone else. They don't have anything of their own, or that they can keep. The rich are the ones who can take everything away, change the laws and rules, draw more money, withdraw deposits from banks, make inflation and denomination, create the conditions for a game that everyone else will play. Here they are the real rich and owners. And you will learn to distinguish between your true desires and meanings. Our consciousness is cluttered with the attitudes of other people, society, who often try to impose on us something that is completely unsuitable. Well-being comes to doing exactly what it came into this world for. Hear your true desires and start doing what you want to do, write, create, study, and the like. Even if you are many years old and you have devoted yourself to a completely different cause, having freed up your physical space and your mind, start boldly modeling your future. To dream and plan without any restrictions. Feel free to voice your wishes.